So it has definitely been a little while since I've done a promo breakdown video for NBA Live Mobile, but the playoffs have just started in the NBA, and I thought, you know what, we'll see what EA have decided to make for this year's playoff tournament, and it is looking very interesting. There's a lot of really confusing parts to this promo, but we'll run through this promo to hopefully clear up some confusion and what we could potentially get later on down the line with this promo. Obviously, on the news tab, it does show this really interesting image showing you all the different pathways you're going to take with the promo, and I'll get onto that a little bit later on. But let's hit play now and you'll be greeted with this screen. Now, on the very first day of this promo, I believe it was delayed by a day, so you had all of the events unlocked for you to go ahead and play through. My thinking behind that is that they just simply wanted everyone to sort of catch up because of that missed day, so all of the NBA games that were occurring at the time did get to have their event featured in the map itself. So right now what we have is the Nuggets and the Lakers. Those you can go ahead and play through as events, the Cavs and the Magic, the Knicks and the 76ers, and that is it. The rest of them are sort of faded away. Now it says at the top, the events are scheduled with real-time NBA matches. And if you look at the NBA schedule for when I'm recording this, it does have those 3 games as being played today. So I'm guessing when there will be the next games, those games will be unlocked in the app itself for you guys to play through just those events. And it'll keep going through those bit by bit. And what I think will happen is, say between the Cavs and the Magic, the Cavaliers come out on top. Where it says to be decided, I reckon we will have a Cavs event. Now, whether we get a Cavs event plus the Cavs and the Magic event on the right hand side, I don't really know. I'm not sure whether it'll work where you have all 3 events to play through, or whether you'll just have that Cavs event because they are the only ones to progress through to the next round. I'm not exactly sure how that will work, but with all of these events, what you will get is, if you take a look at this one, 2 playoff tokens or points, and then you also get 2 Eastern Conference points or 2 Western Conference points. So all of the ones on the left hand side are going to give you those Western Conference points. All the ones on the right hand side will give you those Eastern Conference points, and that is only available on that first event because there are 3 events on every single node. The other 2 events will just simply give you those playoff points. Each one's going to give you 2, and each event costs 25 stamina. Another thing I don't really like with this promo is that it does have that repeatable icon on it, but you can see I've played through all the Knicks events. They are not repeatable. You don't get those events again and again and again, which is a little bit of a shame. I know some promos in the past this season have definitely had that as being an issue, which I personally don't like. When it comes to the milestones though, this is where those playoff points gets added up. And again, this doesn't really make much sense to me. It's only going up to 24. I got 96 tokens on the very first day of this promo because of course you could play through all the events, and it would make a lot more sense if this resetted daily, or they were getting better rewards, you were getting further up and all that stuff, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But as you go through these, you will get more of these playoff player tokens. Now these are very specifically worded. The events are just giving those playoff points, whereas the milestones here are giving out the playoff player tokens. You get 2 on the first one, and then it gradually increases. You get a player pack, which is an 86 to 93 overall guaranteed player pack, giving you Eastern or Western Conference players. As you go up through those milestones, the last one is going to give you another one of those, but you get the biggest one, 18 playoff player tokens. So in total, through all of those milestones, you're going to be able to get yourself a bunch of those playoff player tokens. Now, when it comes to using them, what you need to do is press on this little blue store icon. This doesn't appear in the main section of the store. It's only through this page, and you will have 4 packs which you can go ahead and try and open. The first 2 are using those Eastern Conference and Western Conference points. So these are going to give you the same pack we saw in the milestones, just simply based off of Eastern or Western Conference players. You either get an 86 to 93 overall player over here, or an 86 to 93 overall Western Conference player over here. These are going to cost 10 each, and of course you can only get those points by playing through the specific events on each side of the map. And again, it's just those first events that are going to give you those Eastern Conference or Western Conference points. Those are going to get you those players over there. Again, it's all dependent on luck as to what overall player you get. I believe it doesn't show any of the chances or anything like that on any of the packs, which is a bit of a shame. Then on the right hand side, you have got these 2 other packs, which is where you're spending those playoff points. Now again, playoff points are only able to be got through the events themselves. You can see that little icon on them, the gray one. That is going to give you those 2 packs. You can choose whether you go Western or Eastern Conference. At the moment, it doesn't really matter. However, this promo is definitely not complete with everything that we're going to get at the moment, so it might be worth just holding on to all of your tokens for the time being, because you might, say, get an Eastern Conference master and a Western Conference one, and then by the end of the promo, you might have more of one or the other in terms of players, and that might lead you down to getting a master which you don't want to get. So maybe just hold on to all your tokens until we get more of the stuff later on with the promo. And the reason I say that is because if you look look at the sets, there is just one set to be able to do to get yourself a 96 overall LeBron James. The way this is marketed is a 96 overall LeBron James special player. He's giving out the grab and go boost, which is a combo boost in the game. It's elite 1-2 position. He is 96 overall. He requires 220 of these playoff player tokens. Again, very specific with the wording. And again, these you can only get through getting through those milestones, as I showed earlier. But of course, these milestones aren't going to give you anywhere near as many as I have got at the moment. As you can see, I've got 106 over there. The milestones do not give you that. And the reason I've got so much is through completing the objectives. There are objectives with this promo. If you press on the little tick icon, then go down to NBA playoff objectives. Again, these are very weird because I don't believe you can do all of these in one day because they all reset every 24 hours, which for me personally doesn't really make a lot of sense. We'll run through them. The first one is to earn 450 playoff points. That's practically impossible. Even if you play through all of the events like I did on the very first day, you're not getting up to 450, which gives you a player pack over there, guaranteed from 91 all the way to 98 overall. So I'm not really sure how you even do that. Even if you spend money, I think it's practically impossible at this point. But again, I don't think the playoff promo is complete in its own right. Then underneath that is to earn 15 NBA playoff master players. And again, master players, I don't know exactly what master is counting as. I'm not sure whether that's a 98 overall or above. Then the one underneath that is earning 200 playoff points. Again, not really likely. 12 playoff points is doable. I've done it. You get 2 playoff tokens over there. Spending 48 playoff points, again, is doable through the store itself. I think it's probably better to hold on to your tokens for now, just because the players will become a little bit more useful later on down the line, I believe. As me making that assumption, you guys can go ahead and spend through your tokens if you wish. Earning conference points, again, getting 20 of those in a day is not likely at the current point with all of the events being unlocked. And then it just basically goes through a bunch of other ones very similar to the objectives I've just described. And again, some are doable, some are not doable with the way the current promo is set out. And again, they do reset every single day, which doesn't actually make a lot of sense to me personally. Again, I don't know what EA have got planned when it comes to the rest of the promo itself. Now, I've gone on about holding on to your points, doing all this stuff, and I'll go back to the news tab itself, what it actually shows as the layout for this promo. Now, everything I go over in this is my personal opinion / speculation and assumptions to do with this promo. It is by no means guaranteed at all. I don't know anyone beside the devs that know exactly what's going on with this promo itself. So take this with a pinch of salt. This is just my opinion from having played the game since all the way back in season 1. But we'll kick things off with the events themselves. It's divided up into East and West, which is pretty self-explanatory. You got the left side and the right side. That is really easy to work out. We'll then take a look at the lower branch where it has an arrow pointing to those milestones. Now, those are going to be getting the playoff points from the events and then working towards getting through those milestones. Very self-explanatory there. From those milestones, you will then be able to complete objectives, which is not directly linked because, of course, the events lead to the objectives themselves being done because you need those Eastern Conference points and playoff points and all that stuff, but it does fall on that same branch. And using those milestones and objectives, you will get those playoff points, which will lead to you getting LeBron James. Again, we've discussed that, getting those playoff player tokens in order to get that LeBron James at 220 tokens. So that's why I think these playoff tokens, you could pretty much use them at getting LeBron James. From the graphic itself, it doesn't show anywhere else you can use them. So again, this is me making an assumption. I think you're safe in spending your tokens on LeBron because I don't think they'll be used in other stuff. Again, that is just an assumption. But now let's take a look at the top branch. You have those events again. Those go onto the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and playoff points, which then in turn give you those player packs through the store itself. Now, the reason I say you should save up your points is because then it goes on to the sets, and then finally it goes on to the Grandmasters, which are 100 overall style selects, but there is one for the West and one for the East. So again, the reason I say it's better to probably hold on to these is we will most likely get a Western Conference and an Eastern Conference Master. If for your team you need one more than the other, then one might require, say, Eastern Conference players and the other one might just require Western Conference players. That is not guaranteed, just an assumption. So if you save up all of your tokens, you can then pick exactly what packs you want to open, pick exactly whether you want those Western Conference players or you want the Eastern Conference players with those playoff player points. I think with these first 2 packs, you're pretty much safe to open whatever you want because you can't really use those points on anything else. It's just these 2 over here. If you want us to sit exactly in the middle, you could open one of these, then one of those, then one of those, and just keep switching between the 2. Ultimately, you'll probably have to go down one path in order to get the Grand Master. Now, that is all just assumption, as I mentioned earlier. I really want to emphasize that because I don't want anyone to say use all of their tokens and then blame me for telling them to do that. You can do whatever you want in this game. This is just my assumption. I'm going to hold off to my points. I did open some packs, which I'll put up on screen yesterday just to test things out and all that stuff. stuff because I'm not 100% fussed as to whether or not I get the 100 overall masters. Again, I'm not sure whether they're going to be free to play at all. I can't really do any calculations because I don't know what's left in store for the event itself. So it would be nice if EA put out a blog post or something like that on their website, as FIFA Mobile sometimes do, breaking down the event and what we can expect to see. It's not laying it out exactly what we're going to get because then it ruins the surprise a little bit, but it would be nice to have a rough idea as to what we're going to get with the promo. And again, I don't really understand the milestones ending really quickly or the objectives resetting daily. I'm not entirely sure about that. Maybe everything will become apparent by the end of the promo itself. So it's a little bit of a weird one. Can't really do any calculations. Hopefully I've cleared up some confusion. Again, we're left in the dark a lot with this promo over here. So it's going to be interesting to see what EA have got lined up in terms of this playoff promo. It's out for a very long time. You got just under 2 weeks left with this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you going to be trying to get yourself the Grandmaster or LeBron James? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. But I made the 2024 Team USA team in NBA Live Mobile itself, and they went absolutely crazy. We had some crazy maxed out players with maxed out stats, and they went ridiculous in some showdown quarters. If you want to go check out that video, I'll leave it in the bottom left hand corner, and I'll see you guys in that one. Peace.